Hey guys, this is Tyler from Anointed Warriors. I just wanted to wish you a happy Easter. I know you guys are preparing for your church services and thinking about security. Easter is definitely one of the biggest dates when it comes to church attendance. So you need to make sure that you are thinking about those larger crowds. Maybe we're opening up other areas of the church just to overflow. A lot of times security team members can be exhausted or not on their A game because they've kind of gotten into the routine of doing 2 or 3 services in a row. So that is a big concern. So one thing you want to keep in mind is a lot of the people that are at these Easter services have never been to church before. It's a great ministry opportunity. It's a great outreach to people who need Jesus. But the problem is a lot of the people that need the Lord also have substance abuse issues, or maybe they have anger issues. Maybe someone's trying to invite a friend or a neighbor and they don't really know them that well. So that can be a concern, and that's why they need to be there. That being said, we need to make sure that we're on our A game, especially on Easter with these larger services. Many churches have events they don't usually have. For example, an Easter egg hunt, or maybe, for example, my church is doing some sort of a petting zoo. So we're securing environments that we aren't used to securing. And many churches won't even have security at these events that are going on outside of the church. But if you really look at statistics, you'll see that most instances at churches actually happen in the parking lot or happen after service hours in other areas of the church. They don't always happen in the main sanctuary. We need to realize that these other areas can also be a concern, but we're not used to securing them. So I'm going to give you 3 quick security tips that are going to help you plan your Easter events. Some of these things you may already know, but how many would agree we need to be reminded of things we already know sometimes because we can become complacent. So one of the things that I want to tell you about, the 5 levels of awareness that have to do with going from unaware to very aware. The first level of awareness is what we call condition white. And a great way to think about that, you've probably heard the expression, your head's in the clouds. Condition white is also condition clueless, and it means that we're just not paying attention. We're not looking around. Maybe you're on your phone. If you're a security team member, I would not be on your phone at all. I know sometimes security teams will communicate on the phone. I don't recommend it. Get a radio. You shouldn't be looking down and typing, but some places do. And I'd recommend that you get away from that, because when your head's down at your phone, your eyes are not up looking around. You need to be paying attention to the people coming and going in and out of your facility. We play that game when we were a kid. One of these is not like the other. We need to make sure that we look for those standout people that just don't look right. Maybe they're wearing a tire that doesn't really fit it. Maybe it's really hot outside and they're wearing a trench coat. Maybe they're wearing a wig, like the situation in the church in Texas where somebody came in a wig and a trench coat. So we're looking for anomalies. One of these does not look like the other. The next level of awareness is condition yellow. Condition yellow is the art of paying attention. I would highly suggest, if you're a security team member, that you make a regular practice of checking bags. I would just say, how are you? I'm with the church team. I apologize for the inconvenience, but we do need to check your bag. We just check bags coming in for your safety. Make it all about them. We check bags for your safety, and we just need to go ahead and check that bag. If they refuse to have their bag inspected, then I would just tell them politely, unfortunately, we can't have you come into the facility with that bag. You're welcome to leave it in your car. We'd love to have you. And just be very professional, but be very direct, and let them know it's for their safety. Condition orange is the 3rd level. We are starting to spot anomalies. We're starting to see, this doesn't look right. The way this person is walking towards the pastor, or maybe they're going forward in the sanctuary, but they're not looking around like they're looking for a seat. They're making a beeline straight to the front and not looking around. So we're looking for those warning signs. Maybe somebody's starting to blade when they're talking to you. They're turning. That could mean they're concealing a weapon. Hands in the pockets. There's something called grooming, where people get nervous. They play with facial hair. Erratic movement, looking around. Somebody that appears to be looking at their phone over and again, but they aren't really spending any time looking at the phone. They're just looking down, and it's kind of like they're just trying to appear like they're on their phone. So that can be another issue. The next level is condition red. And I always say, don't cross the red line. Condition red is when you see warning signs and you have to make that decision. I call it the tactical hokey pokey, when people have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I noticed a lot of times in scenarios, that students and security team members that we train have one foot into the situation and one foot out. They're kind of trying to decide if they're going to get out of there or if they're going to move in. In a security team setting, we don't really have the luxury of leaving like we do if we're just a regular person on this. We have to get involved. That's our duty. And if you're in a security team and you're not willing to put your life at risk, my extreme urge for you is to really challenge yourself and really pray through, is this the right fit for me, or should I serve in another capacity? The Bible says no greater love would any man have than to lay down his life for another person. So it's an honor to serve in the security capacity, but it's also a great responsibility, and you need to check yourself mentally and emotionally and spiritually to make sure that you're ready to make that commitment. That's condition red. So condition black is the highest level, and that's the 5th level. The fight is on. You are engaged. You are sending rounds down range. You are engaged physically with somebody. You are in the fight, or you're about to get in it. It's going to happen. At that point, retreating is not an option at all. You can't turn around because you can get hurt. If someone is 10 feet away from me and they have a knife and I turn around and show my back to them, they could easily take advantage of me with that knife. Could we get cut? Probably. Will we get cut? Probably. Anytime a knife comes out, probably. But we need to be prepared not just for firearms, but also for other types of weapons. So those are the 5 levels of awareness. By the way, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel so that you can get more information. Our passion is helping you guys to become better defenders of the house of God. Tip number 2 is synergize between your parking team and your inside team. Security and parking should have a symbiotic relationship. No one's going to do something bad in your church without first coming onto the church property. And the way they do that is the parking lot. So they're going to come in through the parking lot in some way, get out of their vehicle, and that parking lot team who's observing and parking people can spot somebody who's getting out of the vehicle with a large backpack or a large bag. If they're on a radio, which they should be, they can radio. Hey, I've got a guy in a green t-shirt and camouflage pants with a really large bag. The security team can then position themselves outside the front door to welcome that person. Hey, welcome to church. It's good to see you. Hey, I noticed that you have a bag there. I apologize for the inconvenience, but we do need to check your bag. It's just part of our security protocol. You need to be polite, but also be firm on your policies. You need to love people, but you also need to love all the people in that arena, not just that one person. And the way we love everybody is we protect everybody. So be observant, be looking for that. In the case of the guy from White Settlement, Texas, the church shooting who was wearing a trench coat and a wig, I would have gone up to him and said, hey, how are you? Good to see you. Let me give you a hug. And I would have felt that shotgun. And at that point, I would have taken him to the ground. Hopefully a couple other team members can assist you, and I would get control of that firearm before it makes it inside. When you follow someone, if you're going to just observe and not engage at that point, make sure that you don't make it obvious. You know, you have 2 or 3 people in a security line. Somebody knows you're surveilling them, then you've already failed. You need to be covert and discreet, but you do need to pay attention. Another thing I wanted to remind you about in the Easter services, but really in all services, is it's vital that you have an armed person at every entrance, and you limit entrances. You should limit your entrances to as few as possible to get everybody safely and comfortably inside, so that you can really man up on those positions. That as people are flowing in, you're getting people comfortably in, but you're also not opening up too many opportunities and too many doors. I'd rather have, instead of 4 doors with 1 person on each door, I'd rather have 2 doors with 2 people on each door, so that if something goes wrong, you have an armed response if need be. But what did you think about that, Bob? He's kind of a quiet guy. He doesn't make a whole lot of comments, and sometimes that bothers us. He gets slapped a lot at level 6. We have an empty hand class where we strike him, and we pretty much do everything to Bob except bite. We elbow, knee, headbutt. All right, thanks a lot. Make sure you like and subscribe. This is Anointed Warriors, your security partners. We want to help you guys out. Our passion is empowering you to secure the house of God, making sure that you have the knowledge that you need and you have the physical skills that you need to secure your houses of worship. God is a great resource as well. Make sure you're praying for wisdom. James 1:5 says, if anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously without finding fault, and it will be given.